Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Open Tabs Podcast. I'm Calvin Smith. I'm joined by Joe Carlos. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Calvin, how are you?
I'm well. And our favorite Huntsville barrister, Chris Lee. What's up, man?
Hello, friends.
that, that
Is
is
that a Chimay glass?
I don't
It's
know. It
like
was a gift. I don't know if you can fully see it. There we go.
somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a Chimay. It's not a Chimay glass.
No.
Okay,
It came in a beer gift set that I received from
sure.
the Eggheads, my trivia team for Christmas, and so
It's
ah,
nice.
nice.
It's nice.
Very, very nice. I'm
Very nice.
extending my dry January on the Canada Dry, as it were. Yeah.
Puns wild.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Um, Quite the eventful 2 weeks here. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. You know, so I gotta tell y'all, man, like all of the pretext and everything of Joe and I meeting, most of it is related to sports. Joe was a sports editor at the time that I met him for the campus newspaper, the award-winning Maroon Tiger. Or maybe not quite sports editor at that time. I think you were like on the staff.
I'm a sports editor.
Sports editor. Okay. And like all of our everything is just predicated on sports. And Joe is by far the loyalist, most down Mavs fan I know. And so, like, I had to, when the news came, man, like I wanted to call, but I didn't. I didn't know, because the only thing I could relate to was when the Hawks, in the middle of the best season we'd ever had, 1990, traded Dominique Wilkins away to the Boston Celtics for what amount of? Oh no, sorry, traded him to the Clippers.
Right, Clippers first.
For Danny Manning, and then
young Danny Manning.
Young Danny Manning, but his knees were about 20 years older than him
yeah.
at that time. But at any rate, man, Joe, I mean, as a sports fan, this is like, kind of worst case scenario, man. How you holding up?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I remember that night when Nick got traded. I remember watching Sports Tonight with my dad and Fred Hickman and Vince Cellini.
They were on Ground Zero in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember like just breaking news that Nick had been traded, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't think it was possible. What year was that? 92 or 93? 93. Yeah. So I was a senior.
January of 93.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school. So right around the time this photo was taken.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, the Clippers, like how did it fall apart? Right. Because at the time there was a big free agent move in that offseason wherein Barkley went to Phoenix.
That's right.
And I in my lifetime I never remembered anything that big. But Charles was my favorite player after Magic retired. So Charles was my favorite player. So it was a big deal to me. But I'm watching Beverly Hills 90210 Saturday night. At like 12 something in the morning. My phone is on the other side of the room. I'm down here in my den, and I hear my phone buzz. And my dad and I played New York Times mini crossword puzzle, which Chris knows well. I was thinking it's maybe him playing a crossword puzzle, but it's buzzing like it was ringing. So I check the phone, and my friend Josh, it's my friend Josh. And he recently had a little rough time. So I thought maybe, I was like, well, maybe I don't know what's going on. And so then I get a text and it says, call me. And I was like, okay, well, something's really rough. Something's happening. It's 12. He knows it's 12:40 where I am. I call him. I can barely hear him. And he's like, I'm in Cabo. I'm thinking like, oh gosh, is he in a jail in Cabo? Like who do I know in San Diego? Or like, what lawyers can I get to get him out? Like what's going on? And he just says, are you watching the news? And I said, no, I'm watching Beverly Hills. I'm watching 90210 freshman year.
And
great times. Yes. And he says, you need to turn to Sports Center now.
Oh, Lord.
So I turned to Sports Center. I turned to 48. Well, I turned to ESPN, but there's like a game on. So I go to ESPN2, and there it is. And I was just numb and in shock, and I was trying to understand it. And I was asking him because he lives in Dallas. I was like, well, what precipitated this? How did we get here? I know there's a black GM in Nico Harrison. We're in the middle of a crazy week talking about DEI. Um, and in Dallas or in Texas, definitely, I'm sure that that's at front and center.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking of all these things. I call my dad and he says, "Hey man, these people, the owners, they're not basketball people. This is not Cuban.
Yeah.
These are money people.
Yeah.
This is not Cuban, man."
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta like wrap your mind around the fact that he's gone. The president sent Marshall is gone. This kind of backbone that had been there. There's been a cultural shift and a regime change.
Mm-hmm.
Although the GM stayed. And so first thing was shock, numbness, sadness, and then just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And I I just couldn't make sense of it. And I stayed up till like 3 in the morning watching everything I could. But everybody is in shock. Nobody knows anything. We still don't really know anything. So then they have the presser the next day, and Nico's sitting there with Jay Kidd. He's like, nobody knew. Like
Yeah.
nobody knew. Like let me get this straight. They did this to LeBron. Like LeBron didn't know the AD was leaving. Like what?
Like
And
how does the like with all of the stuff that Rich Paul and all them know, like it's
they
crazy.
didn't know that. And I don't know who he's with. I don't know who AD is with, but obviously it's not Clutch because obviously they'd have been all up in that, right? And
Right.
so it was a clear sign. And my father has told me he's like, this is a clear sign. If LeBron, he's like, because he's like LeBron had to know, so whatever, whatever. But then when we found out he didn't know, he said, "Oh, this is a clear sign that they're thinking past LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
They're not concerned with that." So Saturday was rough. Sunday was rough. We're a quiet organization. We try to be a quiet operation.
Mm-hmm.
Our own former owner was real demonstrative, so that brought all that on the map. But we try to be real. We don't talk about us except seeding. We don't want to be the front. We don't want to be the Lakers. We don't want to be the Celtics. We don't want to be that. You don't want to.
Right.
You already have these guys. You know, a star in the helmet. They're already overtake the market, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when the Mavericks are the top topic and it's a stupid decision by
Mm-hmm.
and large, that everybody feels a stupid decision,
Mm-hmm.
it's a problem and
Yeah.
it's annoying. And I still don't understand it. You can say conditioning all you want to, and you know, and all that, but I heard they didn't want to pay the max deal for this guy and his who's not even in his prime yet. They didn't want to pay a max $350 million. Okay, fine. He does miss a lot of games, and you can say he does miss a number of games. And you can
Mm-hmm.
say it's because of conditioning, but at some point in November, December, he's going to get hurt, and he misses 10 to 15 games to 20 games a year, which is
Yeah.
a quarter of the damn season.
Yeah.
So, so what happens during that time? Fortunately, now that Kyrie's there, it stays afloat.
All right.
When he got hurt before, Jalen Brunson was there. It stayed afloat, right?
Mm-hmm.
The year we went to the West Conference Finals, Jalen Brunson led us because Luca was out.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so if you look at that, you know, and if you look at the basketball aspect of it, like on the court stuff,
Mm-hmm.
offensively, you know, of course, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. But defensively, he's an extreme liability,
Yeah.
and he hurts your basketball because the four others got to make up for him, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of get the X and I get it, but I don't get it, but I do. And the I do is I get the all that. I don't get it because how do you ever do this? Just work harder, coach him,
Yeah.
motivate him, do whatever you need to do, get
Yeah.
him
He's the face of
working
the
out.
franchise.
Yeah, he's a fake. And then that's I don't get because he is a galvanizing force in Dallas.
Yeah.
He was our guy,
Yeah.
unlike any other sports figure in Dallas
Yeah.
since Dirk.
Yeah.
There's no cowboy
Mm-hmm.
in the last since the triplets retired. There's no cowboy that is universally loved. Okay, since the triplets retired, it's not Romo. It's not, none of them. Nobody loved any cowboy,
Mm-hmm.
but we loved the basketball greats, and we had two in a row
Yeah.
in Dirk and Luca.
Yep.
And the saddest part of it is, you know, Dirk plays 20 years, and then this new NBA, Luca plays like 6 years, and it's like, huh, what? And it's over.
Yeah.
And and you know, I feel for the marketing people. Like I feel the worst for the marketing people, but I also feel bad for the little kids. I mean, like literally, I know it seems like silly or whatever, but to, this is the modern NBA. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you at least had almost 10 years with Neek, almost
Yeah.
10 years with Neek,
Yeah, I did.
with
I did.
the best player in your franchise.
Yeah.
But in 1989, Dallas traded the best player in franchise history, Mark
Yeah.
McGuire,
Yeah.
in a January trade,
Yeah.
in the middle of the season. Now
Yeah.
he was disgruntled and he wanted to get out, but he was traded, and this is the second time they've traded their franchise player. They traded Nash. Okay, Dallas
Yeah.
traded Nash.
Yeah.
Dallas got rid of Brunson. I mean, this is like, and I don't want to get into three J's because it is what it is. Only one of the J's really panned out of the three J's. It is what like with a real career. But I'm saying all that to say it's just like it's this one just doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
and so it's been a very confusing 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, my heart goes out to you, man.
Thank you.
Chris, did you have any thoughts on like what were you
Well,
doing? What was your
I was actually sitting with one of my good friends who's been a lifelong Lakers fan. Of course, he was super excited. But in terms of Dallas's feelings, now I think it is well established, and we'll get back into this. I am nobody's odds maker or bookie, but I'm not sure if Dallas is really that bad off in the short run. They finally have a true five that they need. Maxi Kleber wasn't about to get it done. Nobody feared him or anything. Now I think there's no margin for error, but I think they can put together a fairly good starting five. You just got to keep them healthy now through May and possibly June.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, to me, Luke and Kyrie, yeah, it was great on the court, but at the same time, one of them was a world beater when the other one was out. And
Mhm.
so I think the situation individually works out better for both of them. But as far as the Mavericks franchise short term, something tells me it's not going to be as bad uh, as it appears on paper.
Well, I just wanted to push back on one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and I respect that. I agree with you. You're a stats guy. I know you're looking at numbers and there's the win loss and all that. When Luke
Mm-hmm.
is out, Kyrie steps up and they run it just fine, right? They tend to win. Um, the playoff run this last year, they were together,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Agreed.
throughout that run. When it didn't work was the finals, right?
Yeah.
So the time, I mean, and I'm thinking like if you take a step in a foot, if you take a step out a foot, two, three more threes fall. This is a different thing. We're maybe, you know, a couple more threes fall, or you make some of those three attempts twos,
Mm-hmm.
and the game is different, and the outcome is different. But that's not just for them; it's for everybody, right? So it goes
Mm-hmm.
both ways. But I'm just saying, it's interesting. Um, to your point, they did play well together. They did play well together, but they really got along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Kyrie is older and more mature. Luka's just still growing. He's 25. He'll be 26 like
Yeah.
next week, I think it is.
Yeah.
And still just learning how to be a professional in a way that Dirk had already left. So he had a guy in the locker room who'd won it all, who could teach him really how to be a professional there. And some of the stuff he obviously listened to, some of the stuff he didn't necessarily or doesn't listen to. But I also want to say I agree with you. The roster's fine. The roster, granted, it's missing the top two, top three scorer in the league. Uh, maybe top five, top 10 shooter of all time. When it's all said and done, maybe it's missing
Yeah.
that. But nobody's as big as we are when everybody's in. When Gafford,
Mhm.
Lively, and I know Lively broke his foot, but when Gafford, Lively, and AD are there,
Yeah.
you're not Victor Wembanyama. He don't want to come down there. Chet Holmgren, we got him covered. The only big man, I mean, I know the Joker is down there, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if necessary, he could slide down. No, AD could slide down. We got very big, very quickly, and even the Christie kid.
Uh,
It's not Luca. I'm not saying that, but the Christie kid's not a chump.
No.
right.
He's
I,
not.
I like your front court though, with PJ Washington and possibly pairing with AD though. I like that,
Yeah,
especially like it for the Mavs.
yeah, yeah. I'm not.
Well,
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. oh, it's over. I'm not that. It's more like,
Yeah,
oh my God, we cut Luca.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we got rid of Luca for AD and
peanuts.
yeah.
Well, not peanuts,
That's the
but
thing to
picking
me is
29. And,
the optics of it are just real bad. The
yeah.
optics of it, like, you know, when I saw that meme, and I think this is the meme that kind of sums everything up to me, is like when they said, "How do you explain this to your girl?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's like if TLC had traded Chili to the Destiny's Child for Beyonce, like, man."
Chili was minding her business, man.
she took a stray, as you astutely pointed out, Joe.
Like she
It
was
took
minding her black
a
business.
major stray.
A major stray. She just got hit. Like what? What
Yeah,
was I doing?
yeah, man, yeah. But you know, sports, man. What can you do?
You
Score
sound like
points. Do the thing.
Ryan Howard. It's crazy if you live here. Da-da-da-da. You know, remember that one
Yeah,
in the office at the end? He's like, I don't know. Use whichever one you want.
yeah.
I mean, sports. They do. We can't explain them.
We can't. But
And
we love
and,
them.
and that's why when my first response to the NBA thread was, none of us work in this league. None of us
Yeah,
work in this business.
yeah. Nah, high road, Joe. Gotta
Not
love
one of
it.
us. I mean, just because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, no,
I just, what do you say?
yeah. What can you say? Wait. Yeah, there's
It's like
nothing.
you have no intention. You don't care about the fans.
Yeah,
Don't care.
yeah.
And he was, when I tell you beloved,
Oh yeah,
he is beloved.
yeah,
Unfortunately, a lot on social media, a lot of the people are, their anger is at Nico. Really, the anger should be at the owners and Nico, but their anger is at Nico. Fine, he's a GM. That's why you get paid what you get paid. He's a GM.
yeah, yeah,
Also, though, people are saying we're not taking this out on AD, and we're not taking this out on Max Christie, and we're not taking this out on this pick. We'll probably trade anyway with a package deal for somebody. We're not taking it out on AD or Max. They didn't do anything.
yeah.
They didn't do anything at all. They didn't know.
No, no,
You
no,
know, just
no.
chattel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Literally.
Not
So
quite literally.
yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of seeing how it goes, man, the championship games have occurred. We watched a weekend of great football, in my opinion. You know,
We
even
did.
though the Commanders game wasn't quite as entertaining as I expected, it still was like, like I enjoyed seeing the Philadelphia offense do what it did. But at any rate, we got the results from that last game. I think I was alone in picking the Eagles, and
Yeah.
then
I was alone and picking the Chiefs.
alone in picking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And that left Chris alone
Yeah,
with.
I was alone with picking the coaches that should have been coaching the Pro Bowl game.
That's okay though.
Instead
You
of the
had
Manning boys.
the collective, from what I understand, did come through and soothed the bomb, gave the balm to the wounds, as it were.
Of Gilead.
So where does that leave us as far as like pick standings, Joe? Do you know like where our numbers?
You and I are 6-5.
Okay.
Excuse me. No, that's not right. You and I are 7-5.
Okay.
And Chris is 5-7.
Well,
as it were.
As it were. As it were.
The best you can do is one game below 500.
Yeah. So it comes down to the Super Bowl that nobody wanted.
Apparently.
America did not want to see this matchup, according to all the pundits and talking heads and everybody. But guess what we got?
And the prices are slashed, man.
Oh man, I mean,
not slashed, but they're like really low in comparison, like 50% lower than last year.
Yeah, man. But this is going. I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. I mean, we got a rematch of Super Bowl not too long ago. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs, two quarterbacks that are, different from one another in terms of play style and everything else, but are in the primes of their careers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Two defenses, like one defense is a little bit more heralded than the other, but both of them are pretty damn good. The line reflects that this should, by all rights, be a pretty decent Super Bowl. And the last time these two teams faced each other, it came down to the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are prohibitive 1.5 point favorites, 1.5 point favorites. First, before we get into who you like and don't like, because we spend time talking about that. But like, Joe, what are your thoughts just on the game in general? Like, we leading into it, how do you feel?
there's some Chiefs fatigue. Just in totality, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just Chiefs fatigue. The commercials, um, just the things around them that are in their control and not in their control. The way that they have been fortunate enough to get calls, and I'll stand by that. The way they've been fortunate to get calls in key moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're not they're not as hated as the Patriots because I think a lot of that hatred was a lot of Tom and not so much Bill. I don't think people hated Bill. I think people just hated Tom
Sure.
because he was good looking and had a supermodel wife and they win, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's some questionable stuff that happens. So people hate the Cowboys because they're brash and and the owner's brash
Mm-hmm.
and the expectations are high, but there's never like a villainous person, with that, in my opinion, with Dallas. Maybe it was Michael Irvin. I don't know,
Nah, he was
but
been.
but still those teams weren't like, oh, I hate this guy so much and I want them to lose. It wasn't like that. As
Yeah.
opposed to like the Patriots after a while, it's like, oh, we hate Tom Brady. Like hate Tom Brady, hate Tom Brady, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here, I think there's just so much fatigue with the Chiefs from the winning and all that. Then you look at the Eagles, you're like, okay, well, can they? I mean, they can run the ball well. It's kind of scary, almost like the 05, 06 version of them when they got in and then Freddie Mitchell is your I'm the people's champ. He's mad that T.O.'s getting all the love. So it's kind of, but they calmed it down. Sirianni made it back to the game.
Mm-hmm.
They've been kind of quiet, which is good. I haven't heard a lot. They've been pretty quiet, like we're closed in ranks, all that kind of stuff, which is great. I just I think my feeling about the game is that I agree with you, Calvin. I think it's going to really be a good game, and these are obviously two of the best teams. They've been playing the best at least since week 2, right?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
playing the best the best football of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We beat one of the teams, and then we got hosed on a call
Yeah.
on the second team. Although we did let that running back run like crazy all over us
Yeah.
from Indiana or Illinois, wherever the heck he was from. We did let that guy run like
Yeah.
like
Gangbusters.
like Gale Sayers on us. But
Yeah.
I think it really will be a good game because these teams are very, very good and they're prepared, man. And they're the
Yeah.
two best coached teams, I believe.
Yeah.
Not just the hype and not just the belief in the coach,
Yeah.
but they're actually here
I
in the
see. I
game.
see what you're saying there. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. And so I think it'll be a good game. I we'll get into the outcomes, but I'm excited about this game. I think the worst Super Bowl I ever watched was Super Bowl 29.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And
The pointless Super Bowl.
yes, I mean the Super Bowl was played obviously 2 weeks prior at Candlestick, but I think
Yeah.
Super Bowl 29 was like the worst one I ever watched.
Stan
And
Humphries.
Stan Humphries, like that's a
Yeah.
trivia question. That's got to be a trivia. Somebody's probably answering it now and getting a free round.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm saying that to say I always look at whenever you have this vaunted champion, I always look at whoever the other team is, and I
Mm-hmm.
wonder, yeah, do the people even give them a chance at
Mm-hmm.
all? And
Mm-hmm.
this team definitely has a chance, and they've got the firepower to fight, in my opinion, to fight with them. So to make it a good game.
Sure. Sure. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Super Bowl's just generally exciting, with the exception of, as Brother Joe mentioned, Super Bowl 29, which, I think it was just, how bad was San Francisco going to blow out the Chargers. But this
Mm-hmm.
particular one, it's a rematch. I think people have taken their sides. I'm torn, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. So I think it will be a good game.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna be festive because it's in New Orleans. With the exception of one Super Bowl, they've generally been mostly good games, and
Sure.
uh, but the Eagles going to bring their team, their 53, and Chiefs. It's another Sunday for them. I guess they just say it's Sunday, week what, week 21, whatever it
All
is
right.
now.
Yeah.
But I think football fans will enjoy the game. I think it'll
Sure.
be a good game.
Yeah. I mean, for so many years growing up, Super Bowl was a bore. It was a snooze fest. I mean, I think the year, not that year, the year before, Joe, when Buffalo played Washington. I had a big Super Bowl party at my house. I think I've talked about this on the
Yes,
podcast.
I wish we had a DeLorean to go back to that to hit and some plutonium to hit
Oh my gosh.
85 go back and see that party. Yes.
Yeah, man.
I
And
didn't
we
see that game. I told you I was stuck in a airport in
That's
Durango,
right. That's right.
Colorado. So I've
That's right.
never watched that game.
Well, guess what? The game was on for about 20 minutes and we didn't see the game either. We started playing Madden 92 or whatever Madden it was at
Yeah,
that
it was
point.
92. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and start watching in living color, the in living color halftime.
Right.
That was the year of the in living color halftime. I mean, the games were bad. They were bad games. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it just wasn't fun at all. The Super Bowl party was all about, getting together. And then all of a sudden the games became the thing. And this generation, like, especially if you were a kid growing up in like 2000, from 2000 on up, or 99 on up, like, you don't know what a bad Super Bowl really, really looks like. Maybe that Brady and Kansas City game, during the pandemic, that was or depending on your thoughts on defense, that Rams Patriots rematch game, and when Jared Goff put up a stinker. But like, generally the games are good. You know what I mean? And so I expect it to be close. I expected this, I expected to live up to the hype. And so, I guess at this point, let's just dispense with the.
Yeah.
With
And just
the
one more note, hopefully the power stays on the entire time this time.
yes, that did occur the last time.
It did.
We had a powerful force, a force of nature, when Beyonce performing, Beyonce Knowles performing a great show that drew all the power out of the grid there in New Orleans.
Beyonce Knowles as it were.
Yeah, as it were.
Yes.
Cowboy Carter now.
Yes.
The winner of all the Grammys. Holding all those Grammys. Yeah. Love it. But at any rate, yeah. So New Orleans, like, I'm glad you made that point, Chris. New Orleans Super Bowls tends to be pretty, I mean, except for like the Chicago Bears and the Patriots, you know what I mean? Like, New Orleans will have some decent games, man, or San Francisco and the Broncos, but we don't talk about that one either.
55-10.
Yeah,
that was a little rough.
Yeah. But at any rate, New Orleans is known to host a good game or two. So we'll start with our guests. We'll be polite and start with our guest, Chris. Who you got?
There you go. Well, and also one more special shout out. Superdome's turning 50 this year. So in this particular game,
the Ops from Louisiana Stadium is decrepit. Okay. It's not decrepit. It's actually a wonderful stadium. I shouldn't say that.
For a Roman numeral game, number 58, and of the city of New Orleans, it's 11th, and of the Superdome, the 8th. I predict, in sticking to the gambler's fallacy, that the Philadelphia Eagles will finally prevail because Kansas City has played too many close games and it has to catch up with them finally. Okay. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Okay. Joe, who you like?
I'm going with the Eagles, man. I'm with Chris. I know it's stupid to go against. I know it is absolutely stupid to bet against or be against Mahomes and Reed. It's time we start saying Reed a lot more. By the way.
Yeah. Oh,
it's very
Hall
much
of Fame,
time.
Future Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
coach.
future Hall of Fame coach Andy Reid, first ballot.
Punt, pass, and kick of Los Angeles winner.
yes, all that. It's really time we start mentioning Andy Reid with the all-time greats, because he is an all-time great coach, and it's.
Sure.
But I think, just like Chris said, I think the Magic's going to wear thin. I don't think this is the end of the Chiefs, though.
Okay.
Because they got some nice young pieces that they've acquired, and I think they're going to be around for a while. They just keep retooling and just putting it together like that. But I think the Eagles are a team of destiny right now. Yeah. And I'm sorry, that's your thing, golly. But I think the Eagles will they can pound you the air and on the ground. and we're going to see something that we haven't seen in a Super Bowl in a very long time,
Okay.
and with a strong running game. I mean, Emmett would get these 100-yard. I mean, I don't know what Davis had in those two Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall. I think it was MVP of one of them, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
unless they gave them both to Elway. I can't remember, but he was the NFL MVP one of those years. And long story short, I'm just saying that I think you're going to see a nice dose of Saquon, that which will help, of course, the passing game. And they've got a complement of wonderful receivers there that and their defense is solid. To me, they're the most solid defense, and I think when humming, they're the most solid offense. The difference, of course, being the signal caller. So I'm going to go, but I'm going to still go with, I think Hurts. If Hurts plays mistake-free football, if he plays mistake-free football,
Mm-hmm.
we could probably play Madden. I think we could play Madden.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but Sirianni is going to go up against, you know, uh, he's going up against the greatest coach of the generation of the new generation. Now that BB is retired,
Yeah.
and definitely the best coach in the last 10 years, and
Yeah.
so he's not going to go out quietly, but I'm still going with Philly.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And Doc, before you go, my apologies. I did leave out one point, and the collective would be mad if I didn't leave out my trivial reason also.
Okay.
You
Give
know,
me your reason.
I think Philadelphia is going to give themselves they're going to submit their reputation as the three-peat killers. No, Pat Riley, we're not going to pay you for that. So the 3 in a row killers, had they lost Super Bowl 52, New England would have three-peated. They didn't know they ruined the three-peat there. I think Philadelphia will ruin yet another three-peat,
Okay.
and that is going to be their new claim to fame.
Okay. Okay. The spoilers there. Okay. So, I hate to be the one to do this, but I'm going to have to tell a story. Today, my good friend, Dr. Iman Spalding, one of my favorite people on the planet, came to town. He lives in Tampa, Florida, as an emergency medicine doctor. Emergency medicine, you can sometimes get some shifts anywhere in the country, elsewhere, and he decided to do a shift in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is about 30 to 45 minutes from here. Okay. Iman, born and raised in Kansas City, biggest Kansas City Chiefs fan I know. And so I knew when I saw him today, I was like, okay, man, I'm recording tonight with Chris and Joe. I'm leaning Eagles, and we got to talking. We got some sticks at our local cigar bar. At shout out to Nashville Cigars near Green Hills Mall. I was smoking a Avo Ritmo, as it were. Yeah, and just sitting there talking and listening to him. And I have to say, Iman, and I know you're watching this and listening. Iman doesn't want to be labeled as an obnoxious fan, but he is. He's an obnoxious Chiefs fan. He has taken the spoils of victory and become what we call a poor winner, and that's fine. I still love Iman, but made some salient points. I got swayed. I'm going Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs, and for all the reasons that Joe mentioned, I mean, that's why I probably shouldn't go Chiefs. It's not a great matchup for them. That running game looks like it's just the juggernaut, man. Like they like Saquon Barkley can do whatever he wants to do at this point. It looks that way. And yet Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, me, these guys, and Chris, the gambler's fallacy, Murphy's Law. You know what I mean? All these different mathematical and philosophical postulations about who may and may not win and all these kind of things. You know what I mean? And yet, I can't see it yet. I love for the Bros, Jalen Hurts to be Super Bowl MVP. I love for that to happen. And I actually, if I'm wrong, I'll be the happiest wrong I've been in a very short time. But I can't see it at my heart. If I was a betting man, if my wallet was involved, Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is the they're known for breaking the rules and breaking the taboos and breaking everything else. I mean, why not them for a three-peat? I was trying to go through it and think. We had talked about previously who had gone back to back and had a chance to defend their title. And this is the furthest the title defense has gone. Everybody else lost in a championship game. Nobody else made it to a Super Bowl. Not the Dolphins, not the Packers. You know what I mean? Not the Patriots. Not your beloved Patriots. They didn't make. Now they made it to AFC Championship. They were defeated by the Broncos.
They didn't win 2 in a row,
Correct.
but they made it 51
sandwich.
through 53. They made 51 through 53. That's why I said Philadelphia had
but they lost in the middle, right?
Yes.
But so my point is, there's not been a back-to-back Super Bowl winner who had to defend and got to this point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's just unprecedented. We've never seen this. This is we're in uncharted territory. I make one other, wrestling is scripted, and there's been a lot of talk about how the NFL is scripted and this, that, and the other, and we've delegated this on this podcast. But my favorite wrestler who entered the 1992 Royal Rumble and had insurmountable odds, was like the number 2 guy in the Royal Rumble, and ended up winning. And with a tear in my eye, he won the WWF Championship. And he had a saying when he was in the WCW: to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And the Chiefs right now, the man, I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. I mean, that's that's what it is. Lee, what kind of prop bets should we look out for? What are some things that you are going to be looking for in terms of prop bets for this game?
It's like I'm the podcast deviant over here. Look for special teams touchdowns. I would say look at the over under on Harrison Butker misses.
Okay.
And whether or not there will be a defensive touchdown.
Okay. Defensive touchdown for the Georgia Bulldogs. The Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll say either one.
Okay. Carl Loftus or somebody. Okay. Chris Jones, maybe. All right. Joe, what kind of prop bets are you looking for?
I don't know enough about that stuff, man. So I don't even know. I know what it is. I know what it is, but I don't know.
Okay.
Questionable calls.
Okay.
You want a prop bet on questionable calls?
Okay.
The things that phantom roughing the passer.
Okay.
And let's see how the phantom roughing the passer or phantom helmet to helmet hit calls.
Okay.
Happen in this game. Because
did you see that Brittany came out and said that they're against Patrick?
Who?
His wife, Patrick Mahomes' wife, came out and said, that he's in danger, constant danger. They're trying to kill him out there.
I'm not worried about that woman.
I have a good
that woman, and nothing that woman says. I'm not worried about anything that woman says.
Fair enough.
I have a good problem.
I hope he doesn't get hurt. We don't want nobody to get hurt.
Nobody. We don't want anybody.
We're not worried about anything that woman says at all.
Okay. Fair enough.
One more prop bet. Whether or not Travis Kelce's going to put a ring on it. On within 24 hours of the conclusion of the game.
Okay, so depending on whether they win,
I look at it like Strahan and Nicole Murphy in that one Super Bowl year when they were all around, or Chad and Evelyn Lozada that year. That one year that when Chad finally made the game, or Ocho made the game.
Mm-hmm.
It might be it might just run its course. But we'll see on the prop bet. It would be cool if he does that, but I don't think he would take away from the team.
Nah.
You know what I mean? That's it. He seems like too much of a team guy to take away from the spotlight of the team, and then it's like too cemented in the moment with that. Yeah, but I feel you. I saw that scenario, and that would be cool, but maybe at a party, but not at the game. Okay. On the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also say a line on Mama Kelsey sightings, camera angles, as well as mentions of Jason Kelsey.
Sure. Thank gosh that the Amazon Prime, or who's he with, ESPN team is not involved. It is the Brady. And I think I called it Tom Brenneman, but it's actually Kevin Burkhardt. I apologize to the sticklers out there. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady team for Fox will be there. So we'll get some spot on analysis in the game from Tom Brady, I'm sure. Color commentary. Um, I got Jalen Hurts scoring the first touchdown. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was via tush push, but I think Jalen Hurts scores first. And there's a popular bet that I listen to another podcast pretty often. I don't need to give them free publicity, but a sports guy from Boston and a cousin of a late night talk show host, they get together and talk about things on a particular podcast. And there is a special that they have that they say, this team leading at halftime, but this team winning. I think it's going to be Chiefs or Eagles leading at halftime, Chiefs winning. So if you're the type of person that enjoys a bet or two, that may be something smart money to put on. Especially if some of those things that Joe predicts to come true will come true. If there's some particularly momentous play calls or not called, we shall see. But at any rate, it'll be exciting. You guys got special plans for the game? Joe, do you going to a party or anything? You watching at home? You're muted, brother.
We'll be next door at the neighbor's house, although we were invited to the Fasusi mansion. We were invited out there.
Hey.
Yes, little Coleman love over there. We were invited to the Fasusi mansion, but we'll be next door at the neighbor's house. And I think the last time we watched the Super Bowl, Anthony Mackie was over there, and we watched with him.
He's got a big movie coming out soon.
He does. He does. So he might be there. I don't know. He might be there on Sunday. As I've said, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, so I could care less. Well, I'm not a fan of this current iteration, so I could care less about the song. And I'm kind of curious about the halftime show. But that's where I'll be. What about you guys?
I am undecided as of right now. I got a few invites lingering and hanging.
Of course.
But I'm a homebody here lately, man. Honestly,
good.
I wouldn't mind just making some crab legs and watching the game in the confines of my comfy little apartment here. And enjoying. I'm kind of played out on that whole Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, as it were.
It's like I don't know them.
It is what it is. But if SZA happens to perform All the Stars with Kendrick, I will enjoy that.
That would be very cool. That was very cool.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? And at this point, we know what it is with this whole situation. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I say all that to say I don't know. What about you, Chris? You got an invite? You going somewhere?
I'll be at the Cigar Lounge in downtown Huntsville. Put a smoke in the air and hopefully being able to view the game through all the blue haze in the air.
I'm sure you will have a prime seat. I'm sure that the humidor will be working and all the ventilation will be working the way they're supposed to, and you'll have just the right atmosphere to enjoy another Super Bowl, man. We're getting up there in age, man. I never thought I'd see the day we would see Super Bowl 60, but Super Bowl 60 is next year.
I know.
What I mean? We're
LX.
Yeah, we're perilously close to.
Where is that one?
Oh, I haven't even
LX
looked
is
in.
in.
It is in. It has to be Miami. Oh no, it is at Santa Clara at Levi Stadium.
Oh, that's right. It's at Levi. That's right. Because I forgot that McCaffrey. It was like Warner. Warner said, Warner was on Fox, and he said, "We're going to host it and win it. We're going to make history, and host it and win it." Like,
okay, think so, right?
No, but I thought didn't Tampa do that already?
Tampa did it, and the next year, what's his face?
The Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, and the Rams did it like 2 years. Yeah, it happened.
It's been done twice now. So
yeah, but he said, I guess they're going to make Levi Stadium history and do that. That's according to him. What is he supposed to say though? I mean,
I wish him all the best in that endeavor.
yes.
The way things are going, he and Nick Bosa, I'm sure will enjoy some joy.
I hate the ball,
Yeah.
as you well know.
Tough times. Any closing thoughts? I know, as we started to record, we got the unfortunate news about famed hip hop producer, guru, whatever, from the era of big time beef. Speaking of big time hip hop beefs, Irv Gotti passed away. That's I mean, say what you will, man. We got a lot of entertaining music at that point in time from that. So, and for his family, I just I know that's a tough loss, man. So
Absolutely. No, obviously praying for them and all those affected by his loss. And he lived an interesting life where he beat the government,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, for
yeah, he did.
tax evasion. There's not many black men did that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
not many men have done that. Not many black men have done that either. So it's interesting,
yeah,
the things you trade, you know,
yeah, yeah.
the time but it looked like after he got out in front of that, he was trying to live as much as he possibly could. So
Mhm.
hopefully it was painless and but nonetheless, keeping his family in our thoughts and prayers, of course.
For sure, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
and brothers out there, right? Well, everyone, but especially our brothers. I'm tired of seeing another report of any of us passing before that 70 and 80 mark. So
Yeah,
drink a little more water, take your extra step or two a day.
yeah, yeah, man. We have to be conscious and concerned about our health for sure.
Yeah.
Just a doctor's visit, man, can solve a lot of problems. And I mean, shameless plug for me and my profession, but I've had a lot of men come to my clinic of late. I've been very happy to see that, unprompted, without wives pushing them in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, they're just taking care of their needs, man. And health is wealth for sure, man. And Irv Gotti made a lot of money in his life. Like Joe said, he dodged a bullet or two, probably both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
And that being said, 54, man, 54 is 54. So
Yeah.
um,
Who you telling?
yeah, man. So at any rate, man, next week we will recap our Super Bowl picks, and I know we promised you guys, we told you guys we would do so, and I can't wait, man, because like in my feed, for whatever reason, I guess my algorithm's listening and can hear the things I talk about, because I'm getting more clips from the movie that we're gonna watch and talk about.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. About 4 hours away is a city called Memphis, and some comedians from Memphis have taken on our movie and have decided to make some clips, from said movie, and that certainly will be brought up. But yeah, we're gonna do Lean on Me for sure. And I'm so excited, man, to be back in the saddle. We got some, Reese's popped back up in the Surly Shirts discussion. We talked about some other projects that we will probably tackle in the near future. We're back in the groove, man. You know what I mean? And I'm excited. And yeah, my DVD collection has grown. I got in some more films that I'm filling the gaps. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, man, can't wait. And so this time next week, we'll be back. I'm sure the game will be exciting. We'll have a lot to discuss.
And
tomorrow's the NFL honors. Tomorrow's the NFL honors.
That's right.
Yes,
so we'll know a lot more.
We'll know a lot more. Hey, man, I'm pulling Joe. I already know who I'm pulling for. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to
I know. Well, it is what it is.
Not going to jinx it. But
what are you going to say, Chris?
Tomorrow's the honors, and it should replace NFL Field Day that took place last weekend.
That's
my grievance.
The less said about that fiasco, the better. Go back to Hawaii.
Just do it. Just go back to Hawaii. Go back to Hawaii on the week before, or just the week after. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
What they're. I don't get it. Is it because it's so close to the senior stuff? Do you think they just wanted to take a ride, like a short ride from Mobile or wherever they play that game, Mobile over to Orlando. You think that's what it is?
There's nothing
I think
short
that
about
has
that ride.
something to do with it.
I know,
For
but
sure.
I know it's not as
It,
short,
it,
but it's shorter than a flight
I,
from Honolulu.
I think it might actually legitimately be the same amount of time.
Uh, whatever the case is, man.
The I
Give the
10, the I
people what
10
they
battle.
want. Give the people what they want. All right, one
Yeah.
last shout out before we go, man. This is obviously the anniversary. Every morning for whatever reason, I've gotten the habit of looking at my memories. I regret it today. Today, I have this jersey on
Oh
because
boy.
it should
Oh
have
boy.
been.
I know it's coming there. Yes.
It should have been the MVP. Julio Quintoris
Yeah.
Lopez Jones should
Grady,
have been.
Grady had a shot at that too, but I'm with you.
Well, Grady did have a shot at it,
It
but I
was
mean,
Julio's. It was Julio's. You're right.
I was doing a stream of consciousness as I'm want to do. I stopped doing it partly because of that Super Bowl, but I had a stream of consciousness and I was like, Julio, he clinched it because that catch.
Yeah.
All right, should have done it.
Where he threw Buddy off him.
But alas, we're the laughing stock. All these fans from our ops in New Orleans, they actually love it more than the Patriots fan. And I had to hear about it, but I hope my one hope is no fan base has to go through what I went through that night. And I'll selfishly leave it at that. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. Until the next time, let me see. Did I upgrade my thing? It still didn't do it. So,
I don't know if
Hey,
my
there you
yeah,
go.
right.
There you go, Joe. Yeah, maybe, they didn't do it. Anyway, until next time, guys, we'll see you. Thank you for listening, downloading, liking, subscribing, all those good things, telling a friend, whatever you do, making some snide remarks, whatever you want to do, as long as you're watching.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot. Apple, Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, all that. And until next time, we're out.